And global fanfare, the royal baby was finally born this week. Sources close to the royal family say the newborn prince spent his first days crawling around Buckingham Palace, eating his first meal, and even speaking his first words. The Onion has obtained this exclusive audio clip. In other news, a man's annual 6-sentence conversation with his cousin goes smoothly, a generous improv troupe performs for free, and a pool owner has a bathing suit that touched his penis you can borrow.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're open and available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. That's our Discord server. You jump into one of the top 4 or 5 rooms there, and then we'll get you on the air, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Again, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Coming up, the cash. Is it back? Are people getting back into using cash? Is it becoming more popular rather than less? Because there's been a lot of stories over the years recently, especially about how cashless stores are on the rise. They've been trying to push people out of cash and get them onto a form of completely trackable money, which is, of course, credit cards and debit cards and all the electronic stuff like that. Joining you in the studio here tonight, you've got Ian.
And me, Johnson.
And Conan.
Now, coming up also, I know that, Johnson, you've got a story about ABC News. Apparently, Project Veritas has done, they've revealed some video or some audio. I'm not sure if it's video or audio, but some sort of recording of an ABC correspondent or news editor basically saying they scuttled an Epstein story a few years back.
Yeah.
Right? They had a big story.
Yeah, I think that's some big news today.
Yeah, so
another one I'd like to touch on if we can, and we don't have to go into the whole story, but I just think it's funny. I think it was CNBC, who've been attacking Bitcoin for a while, came out with this story today that's been making some rounds in the Bitcoin world about how, a single anonymous market manipulator is responsible for Bitcoin reaching $20,000 two years ago.
I saw this headline. I have not looked at the piece.
Do
you buy this claim?
No. And okay. I mean, it's kind of funny because some people were like, man, that single anonymous person submitted thousands and thousands of tickets to, blockchain.info. Uh-huh. That guy's a real jerk. Man, those markets when there were just hundreds of thousands of transactions from all these different usernames, I don't know how that guy did it.
Yeah, I saw that post. It was actually Mandrick, who was a former...
Well, there's lots of people. Mandrick is one who's...
right, but we know him personally. He moved to New Hampshire several years ago as part of the New Hampshire freedom migration. He actually helped you move into your house, as I recall. He was your hired chef.
Him to cater.
Which was awesome. That was the only time anyone's ever done that, by the way. I don't think anyone's ever hired a catering chef to cater their move-in party here.
I figured, if people are going to come help me move in, they deserve more than just pizza and beer.
It was amazing.
Let's do some Euro burgers.
It's never been topped. And so anyway, but Mandrick was the one of the key staff members at blockchain.info, which is also known as blockchain.com, which has been around forever. I mean, I think they came to being in like 2011 or something like that. They've been around for a long time. One of the oldest wallet sites. A lot of people started with blockchain.com. Right. And he was their tech support guy. When you put in a support request, likely it was going to him. Now, he's since retired from that position, but anyway, he was there for a long time, number of years. And so apparently he was working during December of 2017, which was the big peak. That was when Bitcoin hit over $19,000, pushing $20,000. I think it may have crossed $20,000 on some exchanges around the planet, but around close to $20,000 hit its peak. And so what you're saying is there's a story here at CNBC.com. I went ahead and pulled it up if you want to pull up your other piece about Veritas when you get a chance. But the CNBC story here claims it was a forensic study on Bitcoin's 2017 boom has found that nearly the entire
Very fake news.
The entire rise of the digital currency at the time is attributed to, quote, one large player, unquote, although the market manipulator remains unidentified. Finance professors John Griffin and Amin Shams, instructors at the University of Texas and Ohio State, analyzed over 200 gigabytes of data for the transaction history between Bitcoin and Tether, which is another digital currency. Tether is known as a stable coin, which has its trading value connected to the dollar. So just so people who aren't aware, Tether is ostensibly backed by the dollar, meaning that for every one Tether in existence, there's supposed to be $1 in a vault that's owned by this company that is putting Tether out. There's been some question as to whether or not that's actually true, but regardless, so they looked at those transactions. The professor's study found that Tethers being traded for Bitcoins revealed a pattern. They claim that, quote, we find the identified patterns are not present on other flows, and almost the entire price impact can be attributed to this one large player. We map this data across both blockchains and find that the one player or entity is behind the majority of the patterns that we document. Griffin and Shams were able to follow the clusters of data to a source, one large account at Bitfinex. The digital currency exchange is one of the largest in the world. It is also, as I understand it, the company that is behind Tether. So they found that Bitfinex, through Bitfinex, the single player was able to manipulate demand for Bitcoin via extreme flows of tethers. The manipulation occurred as Bitcoin rose to an all-time high of nearly $20,000 in late 2017. So you're saying that the people in the business are claiming this is bunk. That this study is absolute garbage.
They think it just seems like total nonsense.
Because
it was a single, I mean, what? So all transactions through Bitfinex were one person? Is that what the claim is?
Well, the claim sounds like that one major whale was having a large impact on the marketplace.
And they don't seem to be backing that up with anything other than saying Bitfinex, Tether, Bitfinex, Bitfinex, Tether.
Well, yeah.
Like, they're not offering any, at least not that I've seen. I mean, I haven't had a chance to really dive into the article, but I don't see any substantive proof on the face of anything,
Yeah, I mean, it's a big claim, and obviously the evidence contradicts the claim.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Well, I mean, they have a paper. I presume you can go and find it and read what their paper says, these academics.
CNBC has been so accurate about Bitcoin in the past.
Yeah, well, a lot of these financial publications aren't exactly friendly. I mean, CNBC hasn't been terrible, I would say. I mean, they've actually had some legit Bitcoiners on the air. They've had Roger Ver on the air a number of times and interviewed him. So it's not like they're trying to hide Bitcoin in the closet or lie on every story that they've put out about it. This is the claim of these two professors in this case, and I think that what you're pointing out, the support departments at these exchanges have a different story to tell. Because I remember when this was happening, when the Bitcoin price was going crazy, we were talking about it almost every night here on Free Talk Live at that time. I mean, it was an amazing thing that was happening. Every week it was just going up and up and up and up. And what happened at a lot of these exchanges was they froze new accounts because they didn't have the support staff. Because on all these exchanges, they have to do what's called know your customer requirements on all new signups. Because that's just the government. They get in there and they say, you got to do this stuff. Well, you've only got so many support staff. And if all of a sudden the amount of requests you have for new accounts doubles, then triples, then quadruples in a matter of, a few weeks, you can't get those processed fast enough. So they literally had to, at some exchanges, obviously they were hiring people in a lot of exchanges and trying to train them and get them on board as fast as they could to onboard these customers. At other ones, they just said, you know what, we're just going to freeze signups until we can get through this backlog. So, I mean, that's obviously not one person who's doing that. It was an incredible demand driven by the incredible publicity that Bitcoin was getting. Regardless, that's their theory. Cowan said Griffin's and Shams, this is an analyst, Jarrett Seiberg, says that one of the SEC's top worries is that crypto is subject to manipulation. This study appears to lend credibility to that argument. Well, I mean, look, if you've got enough money, you can move the market in one direction or another. Now, the larger the Bitcoin market becomes, the harder it's going to be for you to be able to do that. But as of right now, I mean, what is it? 270 billion or something the last time I looked was the total cryptocurrency value. I think Bitcoin itself, according to CoinMarketCap.com, Bitcoin's market cap right now is $168 billion. So if you've got a bunch of billions of dollars and you decide you want to buy a bunch of Bitcoin, well, price is going to go up as a result of that. But it's not going to stay up necessarily. Right. There's no guarantee of that. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And maybe this is just essentially a couple shills for the government trying to make it look like, oh, we need regulation, we need the government to step in. Of course, what else would academics say?
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Do you have a qualified plan, an IRA, 401k, 401(b), or some other type of investment account? Would you like to learn how the ultra-wealthy take their investment accounts and make them legally 100% tax-free? Have your money liquid and invest in literally anything you want to completely tax-free with the blessing of the IRS. And no, it's not a Roth. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll free. Join us here if you want. You can bring up anything you want. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. Just join them over at discord.lrn.fm. Hop in there, and you'll sound like you're sitting here with us. Tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Conan.
All right, so coming up here tonight, Conan, do you have a game of the week for this week?
I'm still playing Dungeons 3.
Okay, maybe we'll talk more about it because we barely had a chance for you to mention it.
That and/or some Mandela.
Last week. So that's on the way here tonight. We'll go to your calls and thoughts. Plus, Johnson, you've got a story from Project Veritas, who they've been in the news before for doing some interesting undercover hidden camera video work revealing various different bureaucracies, corruption, and things like that. So they're always up to something interesting.
Well, this one's related to a very popular meme that's going around right now.
This is the Epstein meme.
Epstein
it's
didn't
popular.
kill himself.
It's popular to some.
Well,
and some just want it to go away. They want it to disappear.
It's definitely not disappearing now.
Nope, it's not.
Well, there was an interesting video that my roommate actually showed me because they had a guest on Fox News. Have you guys seen this clip? You probably have.
Is this the Navy SEAL?
Yeah. They've got some military guy in. He's talking about dogs, right? Like using military dogs, training dogs. There's a dog called a Malinois, which my roommate actually has had one of these dogs. That was his most recent dog that passed away a few years ago. And so he's got personal experience with it. He starts showing me this video. He didn't tell me anything about what was going to happen.
It was a shock.
He just showed me the video about this guy talking about the same kind of dog that he had, because it's a very particular kind of dog. People will see these dogs in the news whenever they make news, and then they go out and get them. And it is not recommended that you do that because there's a lot of training involved, and that's what this guy actually says to Fox News. Is he kind of explains, hey, look, people, don't go out there and get these dogs because it's going to it's going to be a problem, and it's going to make life difficult for those folks. And for whatever reason, I'm not getting any audio out of this particular video from Fox News. It looks like... Oh, thank you so much, Brave Browser, for just muting and stopping everything I was trying to do here. Here it is.
Absolutely. If I could I throw a PSA out real quick? Real quick. Just the remarkable nature of these dogs and them being highlighted in the news creates a huge demand by people that frankly shouldn't have them. If you see the coverage and you decide I want one of these dogs, either buy a finished trained, fully trained and finished dog from a professional, or just don't get one at all. And Epstein didn't kill himself.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that commentary. All right.
Good stuff.
Surprise!
Do any of you know the backstory on this military dog that supposedly helped taking down al-Baghdadi and the whole nine? And then
that's the guy.
No. And then Trump was talking. There's a Photoshop picture of Trump putting an award around a dog's neck,
and he retweeted it supposedly.
But does anyone know the story with the dog? What did the dog do? Did the dog?
I don't know.
It was just there. He was just there during the raid.
Acts of valor.
Who knows?
Because that's what brought this. I'm assuming that's what brought this guy on.
That's
this
what brought him
show.
on. Yeah.
This hero dog that helped take down this terrorist for like the third, fourth, or fifth time, or how many times he's died. He's died a lot of times.
Yeah, I guess that the guest they had here, according to the story at the UK Independent, his name is Mike Ritland. He was invited on the Fox News program to discuss the dog that helped U.S. troops in the raid on Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. So it presumably was the same kind of dog that he was referring to, the Malinois. That's all I know. So we go on here. Project Veritas. Johnson, you saw this story about Epstein. Project Veritas revealing that ABC News has scuttled a major story, apparently, in the past.
And was discussing it with a producer on a hot mic, and some whistleblower at ABC snuck out that footage.
And so that's what we're going to play for you here, along with whatever commentary Veritas has, and we'll speak as we go along. So
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story.
This is Amy Robach, a ABC News anchor, being interviewed here.
Then the palace found out that we had verbal allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything she had.
Now, is this supposedly off the air, or is this actually
this is off the air? She's discussing things with some producers or whatever.
So they're rolling tape on this lady who's talking off the air.
It's just a hot mic, essentially.
Okay, got it.
Pictures, she had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like,
that's frustrating,
Right.
As a journalist. Presumably she's honest and she's doing the best job that she can to report on a news story, and then to have your editor say, that guy's a nobody.
This is
Who's Jeffrey
story.
Epstein? To just shut down that kind of reporting has got to be really frustrating. It sounds like she still works
This is
for
why third-party interviewers, like ourselves, they could do it in the privacy of their own homes and their basements. Are sweeping up the country, or taking the country by storm, as being more reliable than these clowns, because
you're not beholden to anybody.
Correct. It's all about in a lot of cases it's about the advertisers, and who knows, maybe this editor was on the plane a couple of times.
Maybe so.
It would be nice if there was a news network that would not have non-compete agreements with their anchors, so that those anchors
could quit and then go somewhere else.
Not
you mean?
quit. Continue to report for them, and also if their editor says this isn't a worthwhile story, then that editor or that news journalist posts it to their own YouTube channel or whatever.
I see what you mean. Meaning they make the news package.
Right.
They edit the footage. They've got their package ready to go, and if ABC denies it, then it's still owned by the journalist, and they can do what they want with it.
Yeah.
Except how many other employees of that news station worked on that package? So in a way, it's not owned by that journalist, unless the journalists did everything themselves, which is not the case. So
right.
there would be
if ABC is knocking it down, they're not going to do anything with it. Then let the journalist own it.
That's not a bad idea, but it breaks the rules of how things have always been done, right? So they're not gonna do that. Although, Conan, in these days, probably not at an organization the size of ABC News, but there was a local TV station here in New Hampshire that several years ago cut their staff down to the bone. So every one of their journalists or news reporters or whatever you want to call them, the pretty faces
bought the company.
No. They would send them out to do a report. They would shoot it. They would do the actual reporting, and they would do the editing when they got back. So they literally had cut out the cameraman job. They didn't have a cameraman. It was just the person on the scene did everything.
And in this time and age, that's I don't see why you can't do that. I mean,
and they did. And that's working. It's working for them, apparently. There's more to this story about Veritas, the lady that's thinks she's off the air, revealing that she's had this story done for years, and the editors stopped her.
Keep away from hot tubs and or single planes.
Yeah, I want to know, does she still have her job after this? It's Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
The easiest thing in the world for a reader to do is to stop reading, according to the late, great Barney Kilgore, who became managing editor of the Wall Street Journal in 1941 and grew the paper's circulation from 33,000 to 1 million by the 60s. And he'd be pleased to know that his paper is one of the few that people now pay to read online. Someone else pre-internet who realized that attention is fragile? Motown Records founder Berry Gordy. In the early 60s, when his label dominated the charts, he'd bring a dozen real people into the Hitsville, USA studios and audition songs. And he'd ask, if you were down to your last dollar, would you spend it on this record or would you buy a sandwich? Today, attention span seems like an oxymoron. For tips on cutting through the clutter, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
Conan.
And also, want to make sure you know about local.bitcoin.com. It is a site that is a global trading platform allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods. And you can do that without any identification requirements to sign up for and use the site. Now, some sellers may require you to show ID. I'm one of them, because there are some risks involved in some of these payment methods for the sellers. Others, they don't seem to care. They're willing to take the risks. So get on over to local.bitcoin.com. If you're planning on selling, you do need to do your due diligence and figure out what are the the less risky methods or what the risks are of the ones that are risky. And also, if you are a buyer, you probably want to buy from people that have some experience. You want to make sure they've got some sales under their belt. That way you're not buying from somebody who's questionable, because it is an anonymous marketplace. So you'd have to keep in mind that with anonymity comes a chance of you don't know who you're dealing with over at local.bitcoin.com. But that also means you got privacy. So that's the other trade-off. Local.bitcoin.com, plus all communications between buyers and sellers on the site are encrypted at local.bitcoin.com. We got more here from Project Veritas on YouTube. Johnson, you brought in this video here tonight. It's a clip that was taken. It appears to be on the Good Morning America set with a reporter or an anchor from ABC News, Amy Robach, basically frustrated, having a conversation, what she believes to be off the air, and it was off the air, but somebody was recording the footage. So she's on the set, she's in front of the camera,
right, and
she's talking with somebody who you cannot hear the other side of the conversation. She's probably got like an earpiece in or something like that, some sort of monitor where she's hearing it, but we're not. And so she's just kind of having a conversation about how she had this story. She talked to one of the alleged victims of Jeffrey Epstein, and they had everything ready to roll a few years ago before the big news hit this year about him. And that somebody at ABC told her, who's this guy? Nobody knows who Epstein is. Forget about this story. And they quashed it. And now this news has come out. Apparently, NPR is reporting that ABC is now defending after this leaked video has come out, but we're still in the midst of actually playing the footage. She says, quote, like every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, it was what we had was unreal. And that's where I'm going to pick up the video footage here.
Every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, what we had was unreal. Other women backing it up. Hey, yep. Brad Edwards, the attorney, 3 years ago, saying there will come a day when we will realize Jeffrey Epstein was the most prolific pedophile this country has ever known. And I had it all 3 years ago.
Bam. All right, so Project Veritas presents is what it says.
You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I did.
First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is.
Okay, so there's some subtitles here. It says she's talking to her producer.
We had Clinton. We had everything.
Okay, are they just going to play the clip again with
they
with
do a little
subtitles?
bit, but then they have some more stuff. But you could probably put it on silent and read what the subtitles are through this part if you want to.
Then the palace
not hear it
found
again.
out that we had.
I mean, they're
verbal
pointing out some things
allegations
that are
about
pretty
Prince Andrew
important
and threatened
about
us
the
in
fact
many different ways.
that the palace was threatening them.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think it's pretty, important. To
Prince
bring up.
Andrew was alleged to have been palling around with this Epstein guy quite a bit. He was seen in photographs with
leaving the building.
Not only leaving the building, but seen in photographs with the premier victim, so-called victim. Who I don't believe she's a victim.
For as much as, and I don't like being partisan about this, but for as much as the liberal news media likes to talk about collusion with these other countries and phone calls with Ukraine and influence by Russia, well, what are they doing when the news media themselves is quashing stories because they're afraid of relations with the UK?
Palace, yeah.
We
won't let you talk to our prince anymore.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So what's the conclusion for that? Should we be throwing the higher end, upper level staff of ABC in prison for 20, 30, 40 years? Should that be what happens?
Or what do they do?
Collusion
with
collusion
with another country.
It's
not a crime.
But they're not elected. They're not, and their skin isn't orange.
Yeah,
it's treason, right? Isn't that what the crime is?
That's not
Isn't that what
treason.
they're accusing? It's
No.
impeachable. It's treason. It's treason.
No,
so they're
that's not
colluding with these other countries to influence.
It's just
the
buggerly
culture.
behavior.
Nah, treason is the crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government. So, to refuse to report on a news story is not treasonous. That's just an editorial decision, Johnson.
Sure. Maybe it's un-American, at least.
Un-American.
Un-American.
It's cowardly.
Yeah, sure.
Is what it is. And it's pathetic to see a news organization as respected as ABC News making a decision like this. I mean, ABC is one of the more, established news outlets out there. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to sway with whatever political times are influencing them. And in this case, and it's not just ABC News that does this crap. It happens at the lowest level, even down to your local talk show host in the morning who won't ask the mayor a tough question,
right?
Because he doesn't want the mayor to
come on again,
right? To boycott his show and not be a guest ever again,
right?
And I'm not talking specifically about Keene, New Hampshire, or anything like that, but that happens in a lot of marketplaces. There was one guy who. There was a New York radio station. So I call radio stations during the daytime. During the morning, I call to try to pitch Free Talk Live to them. And, of course, part of the process of pitching Free Talk Live is you got to get the program director to listen to the show, because 99 times out of 100, if I call a station, they've never heard of us. So it's like, okay, well, here's where you can go listen to Free Talk Live. And so I'm following up with this program director who says to me he likes the show.
But you got to tone a couple things down.
Right. He really
you
likes
keep
the
talking
show.
about all this legalization of opioids. Do you really believe that,
Well,
Ian?
He didn't specifically say that, but he did say that it's a very pro-law enforcement town, and that he has the police chief on his show in the mornings on a regular basis. And because we're so critical of the police, maybe he heard us discussing police accountability or whatever, and because we were so critical of the police, he didn't feel comfortable putting our show on because he wouldn't want to have to answer to what the police chief might ask him about why you're running a show that's critical of the police at night.
I call bull on that. He might have to have a weak conversation with the police chief, but I'm more often than not, it's all about the advertisers.
You should tell him you don't have to answer the police chief. We have open phone lines from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern every.
Send him in.
Yeah, tell him to
call
the chief
in.
to call.
We'll answer his questions.
But that doesn't work, right?
Yeah, of course not.
This cop, this thug, is going to use his influence, and it's not like it ever even happened. This is just what the guy speculated might happen. So because he was afraid that he would have a difficult time with his regular guest on his show who he's cultivated a relationship with, he didn't want to put Free Talk Live on the air, even though he knew we did a good show.
Yep.
Even though he personally enjoyed it. He didn't want to go there and have to deal with whatever could occur.
He didn't want to rock the boat.
Exactly. So that same thing is happening.
Peer pressure from the mafia.
That's the same thing that you're seeing here with
the Blue Mafia.
ABC News. So let's play a little bit more here from Project Veritas.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air.
That's tape leaked to us by our latest network insider. This brave insider works at ABC News. ABC News anchorwoman Amy Robach is talking to her producer on a hot mic. She says she had the Jeffrey Epstein story 3 years ago, and her bosses at ABC News spiked it.
And then
for everybody who didn't already hear her say that in the first 2 minutes of this video, we'll continue here. I'll see if I can figure out where this gets some different content. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You want to comment on the pathetic state of news media here in the United States, you're welcome to join us, and you can bring up anything that you want. Boy, you bet ABC's trying to figure out who this leaker is.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network. Call or click Flash Routers today at 1-866-509-5817 or FLASHROUTERS.com. That's 1-866-509-5817 or flashrouters.com. Protect your wireless home network today with Flash Routers.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Free Talk Live.
I was in the military for 31 years, and I hear all this talk about the draft and defending freedom and all that. From my perspective, as I'm ex-Navy, I never defended anybody's freedom, American or anybody else's. I was a hired thug for the U.S. government. It's just propaganda put out by the government, and it's we're the best and the brightest, and all of that just makes me ill because of all the millions of people that have died because the American military is all over the world. There's nobody attacking us. I mean, our government is like every other government. It's run by degenerate psychopaths that are power mad, and I have no clue what goes on inside their mind, but it's nothing good.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free to join us here. The toll free number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live brought to you by Edge Wallet. It is the best cryptocurrency wallet, I think. That's the one I use more than any other. There's some other good ones out there, but the Edge Wallet's really a great wallet, especially if you're brand new. But even if you're experienced, I'm an experienced crypto user, and I love Edge because it makes it super easy to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, BTC, or Bitcoin Cash, or Dash, or Ethereum, various Ethereum tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, Ravencoin, and others. Go to Secure Your Freedom by visiting edge.app to learn more about the wallet. It's a veteran team that's been building since 2014, or just go straight to your Google or Apple Play stores or App Store and download Edge Wallet for iOS or Android devices. It's edge.app is their website, and again, it's the Edge Wallet. As we continue here, we got more on ABC News leaked out. Somebody on the inside at ABC leaked a video of an ABC News anchor, Amy Robach, claiming on camera, now it wasn't on the air, but this was apparently being recorded in the Good Morning America studios, where she's claiming she had a major story about Jeffrey Epstein. She had interviews with the alleged victim in the case. And
she had the story.
Yeah, all kinds of dirt, and she had it, but she had it years ago before it broke this year.
Right.
And
meanwhile, how many victims is her editor at ABC responsible for?
You mean continuing? And whether they're victims or not is another question. But regardless, she's now, this has been exposed, and we've got more to say here. Veritas has more that we can play from this news piece. So that's on the way. But let's go first to Mikey. He is on our line on the Discord server. Mikey calling from New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
So I called in a while ago not a while ago, maybe a few days ago. We were talking about the Keene High School Officer English tackling a teen.
Yeah. Well, we didn't talk. I don't think we talked about that on the air, if I recall. You called off. I think you called off the air to talk about that.
I might have done that.
Or if you called in, I wasn't on the show in that particular case. I'm not on every show. So, and I'm sure that Johnson and Conan were most definitely not on that.
I didn't even know about it till just now, and I usually follow these things pretty closely.
Right.
But so I'm reading about it right now as we speak. Maybe you know some more about it?
I mean, I'm gonna presume you guys know more about it than me. I was
You
just reading
go to the
Union
high
Leader.
school. You're the person who showed me the video.
Yeah. So basically, after I read the Union Leader's article report on it, I guess English said that he didn't even know that the guy there was a student,
Mhm.
and maybe he thought he was just like hanging out at our high school.
Okay.
So what
That's a
comes to my
great
mind is,
resource
like,
officer. He's doing his job real well.
So wait, hold on. He wasn't sure at the time. Does he know now whether he was?
Well, I mean, I'm presuming so.
Okay.
I mean, you think.
Huh. So, okay, can you tell the story here? What exactly transpired?
Okay, so what the guy that got tackled said was that he was just in the bathroom with a few friends. English came in and basically accused him of juuling or vaping, and then tried to flush the vape down the toilet. And
That is not a nice thing to do for your pipes, by the way, to flush electronic metal devices down your toilet. Not very smart on the officers. I mean, why wouldn't he confiscate it?
No.
The student tried to do it.
Student tried to flush
the
it.
student tried to do it. But the thing was, the student said that there were no devices were found, and obviously you cannot flush something like that
No.
down the toilet. And what made it even better was that he was trying to say that he was trying to flush it down a urinal.
Okay, so wait, are
wow.
you saying that the English was lying, claiming that he was trying to flush the vape?
I don't know.
Okay, so he confronts this young man who, I saw the video. The young guy did look like somebody I've seen in the college neighborhood on a number of occasions. So there is a possibility that this actually wasn't a high school student, although, I don't know what kind of security Keene High School has as far as, why would you go to the high school, hang out in the bathroom, and vape? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
I know if you try to get in through the front door, you have to be paged in, but I'm sure there are side doors and whatnot that you can just kind of sneak in there real quick. Well, maybe this character was, hanging out with a girlfriend, or maybe he was, I don't know, selling drugs, selling vapes, maybe. But they didn't find any vapes on this guy. So what's up?
Now wait a minute. They're not going to buzz you in the morning, right? Like that's during the school day, during when all the kids are arriving from the buses. Those doors are wide open, right? So dude could walk in at like 8 a.m. or whatever time school starts, hang out in the bathroom all day, and sell Juul pods to people.
I mean, I guess he could, but the kid did come out and he said, I didn't do anything. I just tried to walk away because he wasn't listening, and then I walked away and I got blindsided. And it was 15, so I'm presuming he was either a freshman or a sophomore at the high school.
Okay, so he was a student likely at the school.
Yeah.
How is the vaping scene at the school right now? Did the kids do it, or they sneak them in there, or they just wait till after school?
Oh, it's everywhere.
And how are the teachers and the resource officer and the bureaucrats there? How are they cracking down on you guys? Are they like sneaking into the bathroom during breaks and stuff that monitor you guys?
So I've had a few friends just get pulled out of class and be searched, right? But not particularly. Like they're not really on top of us about it, at least that I've saw. Also, I'm a freshman and I don't, vape or do anything in the bathrooms.
Okay, so here's what I wanted to clarify, because when you had initially told me about this last week, my first thought was this is a story I should break the news on this. But what you had also told me at that time was the allegation was that the student had allegedly hit the cop in the face prior to the cop going out and tackling him. The video is taken from outside of the bathroom. So what happens in the video is the kid goes out of the bathroom, cop comes out after him and tackles him. So you don't actually get to see anything that transpired in the bathroom. So is it still your belief that the young man hit the cop prior to being tackled?
No, I don't think the cop got hit. I spoke to English the next day, and no, actually that day. I spoke to English that day after the incident, and it did not appear that he got hit at all, at least in the face or anything. And my presumption is if you hit a cop, you know, you're probably not just going to be able to walk around the next day, right?
Well, I mean, it depends on how many people are around. Depends on how many people are going to witness that. So the cop arrested the dude. Did he get charged? I mean, do you know what the latest is in the story?
So from what I was told is he was suspended from school and sent home that day, but not charged with anything.
Interesting.
He did have cuts and whatnot, like, well, semi-cuts, like on his wrist and where the handcuffs were going in, and bruises on his knees and whatnot.
By the way, this is the same officer who was cleared in a fatal shooting back in Keene back in 2011 when he shot and killed a man. So
they made him the resource officer?
They sure did.
That's just great to know.
Yeah, back in 2011, Keene Sentinel report that the New Hampshire Attorney General's office released its report clearing Keene police officer Joshua English for his use of deadly force when he shot and killed Charles Tecote in 2010.
Was this the burglars who came in through the top and they were driving away?
No, this was the one where a dude had a girl at knife point inside a home, allegedly. Yeah.
Well, great. I mean,
I feel very
it's also
safe
the
now.
same cop who showed up outside of a bar way back in like 2009 or 2010 when a bunch of us were a lot of the Free Staters were going to do karaoke at a bar that has since closed. But the bar had a particular regular who is a hater of libertarians, and he hit nobody who was then known as Rich Paul. He actually struck him in the bar. And nobody had cracked a joke or something like that because the dude had come out of the bathroom with another guy, and so nobody had cracked a joke, and the guy didn't take it too kindly, and he slugged nobody, I think, in the face or something like that. The bar denizens kind of broke up the fight at that point. Police were called, and when English responded, he was one of the officers who responded. He walks up carrying an M14. To a bar fight.
Yeah, well.
A little bit of an overreaction to a bar. This wasn't a massive brawl in a bar with like multiple people. This was just two people who one person had gotten hit, and that was that, and somebody called the cops. But this guy decided he was going to bring a machine gun or, rifle or whatever to a bar fight. So perhaps he's got a tendency to overreact. He's also former military. As I understand it, so you can take from that what you will. Well, I'm glad to know, Mikey. Thank you for the update tonight, because I'm glad to know that there are no allegations that the cop was actually hit by this guy. Because if he was hit by the guy, I was surprised he even let him leave the bathroom. But thanks for the heads up on that, and thanks for the call tonight. Definitely appreciate it. We got more with your calls and thoughts on the way. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Plus, we got more on the Project Veritas revealing ABC News' corruption.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,510, silver at $18.05, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,448. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, in what is being called the largest ever single day of commutations in the history of the United States, hundreds of nonviolent drug offenders and other low-level nonviolent offenders are being set free from Oklahoma prisons on Monday. In a historic move, Governor Kevin Stitt signed the recommendations to release more than 450 inmates on Friday. Now, all of those people whose lives were thought to be ruined because they were caught with substances deemed illegal by the state will have a second chance at life. Activist Post reports the move comes after a 2016 measure passed through the Oklahoma legislative process titled State Question 780, making low-level drug and property crimes misdemeanors instead of felonies. Governor Stitt signed a bill earlier this year, retroactively applying the law to those who were rotting in jail for having a bit of a plant on them. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The United Kingdom's largest lenders have been writing off more loans than they were last year. Another indication that many businesses are hurting in a deteriorating economic environment. Activist Post reports that in the third quarter of 2019, write-downs on bad debt at 4 major British banks increased 51% from the same quarter of 2018. The amount of non-performing loans that have been written off by RBS, Lloyds, HSBC, and Barclays between July and September reached approximately $2.27 billion. During the same period last year, it was around $1.51 billion. An analysis conducted by UK-based financial services company AJ Bell shows. The difference has been attributed to the worsening economic conditions that are negatively affecting more and more companies operating in the country. One such example is the British global travel group Thomas Cook, which collapsed in September. A total of 4,355 businesses were unable to pay their debts in the third quarter. The ACLU has sued the Federal Bureau of Investigation and other federal agencies, making claims that the government is improperly withholding information on how it uses a facial recognition database on millions of Americans. Activist Post reports the civil rights organization also asked for a federal court to intervene and order the FBI and related agencies to turn over all records concerning their use of face recognition technology. That's according to a legal document. The ACLU lawsuit names the FBI, Justice Department, and Drug Enforcement Administration, alleging the agencies failed to produce any responsive documents in response to a Freedom of Information Act request. The FBI is using technology called the Interstate Photo System to identify potential suspects, and a watchdog organization, the Government Accountability Office, claimed that the agency has access to 640 million photographs, which includes driver's licenses, passports, and mugshots. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network. featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience The Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
I'm Brooke Alvarez, and while I may not acknowledge your presence in person, and if you try to approach me, you'll most certainly be hit in the face with the stinging nettles I carry on me at all times, I like to take a moment every now and again to answer your questions so that you can get to know the real me. Here's a tweet from @Kirkamunga saying, "What is the most important thing to remember when talking to people who may not be as informed as you?" I love this question, Kirkamunga. There are 3 simple steps to dealing with uninformed people. First, when you realize that someone doesn't know something, repeat very loudly in their face the thing they don't know. For example, "You don't know who the Prime Minister of Zimbabwe is?" Second, look to everyone around you and let them know that this person is completely ignorant. "Hey everyone, Sebastian doesn't know who the Prime Minister of Zimbabwe is." Third, you call up the Prime Minister of Zimbabwe and tell him that Sebastian doesn't know who he is, and then laugh really loudly until the ignorant person just leaves in utter shame. If you'd like to ask me a question, just tweet it to my handle @BrookeAlvarez or post it to my Facebook wall.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Coming up here, if you are just tuning in, we've been talking about the video that was leaked from ABC News. One of their anchors saying she had the Epstein story years ago, and ABC quashed it. They said, nah, who's Epstein? Nobody cares who that. Nobody knows who that is. Forget about it. And they would not let her move forward with that story. We can share more about that on the way here tonight with you. It's, by the way, Ian.
And Johnson.
And Conan.
And we're going to go back to the phones here in just a moment. Plus, Conan's got a game of the week that we didn't really get into much last week, so we'll dig a little deeper on that on the way. Plus, we can talk about Venezuela, China. There's all kinds of interesting news out there. But again, back to the phones first, where we have Zach on the line in Minnesota. He's listening via the TuneIn app. Go ahead, Zach. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, Ian.
Hi, Zach.
I wanted to kind of bring up a topic you and Mark were discussing. I think it was the other night about that messed up horror house in Tennessee, the McCamey Manor.
Yeah, this is allegedly the most horrifying, the scariest haunted house. Not even really a haunted house as much as it is what some people were alleging is a torture chamber where you have to sign a 40-page long waiver. You have to go through a 2-hour-long video training seminar. You have to go get a physical done. You have to be like certified as like an athletic person or whatever. They apparently are like pulling teeth. They're doing all kinds of like crazy stuff in this place. And the guy who runs this McCamey Manor says no one has ever gotten through it without tapping out. They've got a safe word that you can choose, and if you yell the safe word, they'll supposedly stop torturing you. But one of our chat room folks over at the Discord server says he thinks they're just waterboarding people at the end of it. Just to they'll put people through all kinds of torture. There's allegedly electrocution that goes on, and it's a consensual act, so it's not criminal.
And people are paying to do this, to go through this?
The only cost to get in is a bag of dog food.
This is like a challenge.
You have to pay a bag of dog food to get in. But
so probably all the extreme sports fanatics out there probably won the...
People who are okay with being tortured, basically, are the people who would want to sign up for this. Your thoughts on it, Zach? Go ahead.
Yeah, and because I was listening to the podcast, after the fact, and while you guys were talking about it, I pulled up some of the videos because they published them on YouTube, and there hasn't been any activity for a couple of years, but I just watched briefly some of the clips, and it's just kind of those you can see the type of person who's going to be attracted to this. Just kind of the weirdos, those kind of folks who are into alternative things. But what I wanted to talk about,
but before you go on, just so you know, I didn't
Yeah.
watch these. I just got busy and I just wasn't going to do it. But I was mildly curious to see what would happen. Allegedly, the owner of this, Mr. McCamey, or whatever his name is, McCamey, he actually follows the guest on their torturous journey and video documents apparently the whole thing because, well, they've been sued a bunch of times. And so he wants to have video of this person and what happened to them so they can't just make up crap about what happened to them in there. So what did you see, before you go on with what you were calling about, what were some of the things you saw happening in these videos?
Well, I didn't watch the whole thing because he does seem to record the entire event, and several of them are several hours long, so I'm just not going to sit through all of that. But the brief clips I watched seemed that people were just kind of getting mildly roughed up, like they were kind of jostling their head around, smearing mud on their face, things that seemed relatively mild. But then I just did some more reading, and that was where, of course, you find all the extreme stuff. But I wasn't going to comb through hours of footage to see that. I have no doubt that the more extreme stuff actually happens. But what I actually wanted to talk about was, the conversation kind of went towards the idea of consent, and that, there's petitions to shut this place down and everything. And
right, with 80,000 signatures, apparently. Go ahead.
Yeah. And one stance is, everybody consents here, and there's video interviews of the participants where it's quite thorough, where the guy is off camera and he's explaining, this is going to happen to you, this is going to happen to you. So there's no doubt that these people are informed. But I have to wonder, just the larger idea of consent, in a libertarian society, is everyone capable of consent, and what if someone is genuinely, perhaps even mildly mentally ill?
They have to go through some sort of
consent?
They have to go through some kind of, one of the requirements to actually be able to go through this is to be assessed as psychologically sound. So not only do you have to go through a physical, but you have to see a psychologist or something who can certify that you're not mentally deficient or whatever, that you're able to make a decision for yourself.
And as far as the rules for McCamey's Manor, you cannot be claustrophobic, pregnant, can't have seizures, respiratory issues, or heart issues. Those are urged not to participate. And you have to be over the age of 21.
Yep.
And if you can sign all the waivers and whatnot, I guess you can pretty much figure out whether someone is mentally capable at that point.
They have to see a doctor. They have to have a certification in order to go through this. So that's one way to... So, like, if a mentally deficient person comes in there and they want to, they're just not going to pass that part. They're not going to.
So I see no problem with this. This is something I would never do.
Right.
But $20,000 for winning, for getting through.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. If you get through and no one ever has,
right,
he will pay you $20,000.
That pay off a lot of mortgage right there.
Yeah, but it ain't going to fix the teeth they pulled.
If that's what he says, he says they're not doing anything like that.
Really? Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Zach.
On one hand, obviously, I mean, this guy, I think the guy who runs it is sick. Like, there's something wrong with this dude. But obviously, he's going to ensure that nobody wins. If somebody was getting towards the end, whatever the end is, he's going to crank it up to level 10.
Well,
I'm sure this thing is unwinnable.
That's probably true, but the guy said he spent nearly $1 million on this, so it's obviously his hobby. He's not making money at this. He's only charging people a bag of dog food to get in, and he's donating the dog food to some charity. So he's just doing this because he gets his jollies from it.
Which is kind of weird, I think. But
absolutely, but hey, whatever floats your boat.
And also don't forget that he deducts $500 from the jackpot every time you swear. Which I don't know about you, but that's only 40 franc bombs, and I don't think I would last more than a couple minutes. So anyway, it was just an interesting concept that I wanted to bring up.
What branch of service was this guy in? I thought I saw it.
Navy, which I was too, so it kind of disgusts me that he's one of us. But but anyway,
I tell you what, I figured this out. This is a recruitment program.
Really?
This is for another branch that we don't know. Maybe
just to see who can go the farthest.
Maybe it's Space Force. Space Force.
Yeah, Space Force.
And this is a recruitment program to see if you can get through it. If if you're psychologically capable of the torture, and if you can, or if you get to a certain level, you'll get a call from some man in black later on in the week.
We heard you were at McCamey Manor. Hey, thanks, Zach, for the call tonight. I appreciate the follow-up on that.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
Yeah, I watched Alien, by the way, when it got re-released a few weeks ago. They brought it out for its 40th anniversary presentation in, HD digital projection. It looked great. And I was talking with somebody about it the other night, actually, and how it still holds up really well after 40 years. It's still an amazing-looking film. Really is. Much better than Terminator Dark Fate, which I also saw recently.
I actually liked it.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike
complaining
it.
about, this is Justice
it's so
Warriors.
woke.
I didn't think it
wasn't that
No,
woke.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I mean, it was definitely girl power, but Cameron's movies have always been that.
Definitely there's a lot of back and forth, especially from the critics and the actual, like Rotten Tomatoes is a prime example. You'll see these movies where the critics give it a 3, and then the
audience rating is higher.
100%.
I have a special thing. I have a special theory about that. I always will go see movies when the audience rating is much higher than the critics. It means that the movie is going to be fantastic. When it's the other way around, it means the movie is going to be horrible.
I'm thinking, and especially in the case of The Joker or Joker, whatever it is, I think that was inside planning. I think they intended it to be rated badly by the critics in order to get the audience to come out in droves.
More coming up here. We can talk more about movies on the way.
With Fortune DNA, you can invest in anything you want to. 100% tax-free for you and your heirs. And use your money before you're 59 and a half without ever losing your principal. All with the blessing of the IRS. Avoid the volatility of the market. Put certainty back into your investing future and keep full access to your money with Fortune DNA. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon. The the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can join us here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. From torture houses to pop culture to ABC News corruption. These are some of the things we've discussed here tonight. You're welcome to comment on any of that. And joining you here in the studio, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Conan.
Also want to make sure you know that Anarchapulco is coming up, and it'll be here before you know it, February 13th through the 16th, right in the middle of winter. You want to be in the sun and beaches of a world-class resort with a bunch of voluntarists, anarchists, libertarians, people like Ron Paul, John McAfee, Sherry Peel Jackson, Doug Casey, Freeway Rick Ross, and dozens of other speakers. Go to anarchapulco.com, use promo code FTL, get 10% off your tickets to Anarchapulco for what is going to be the world's foremost conference for voluntarists, thinkers, and activists. And it is a great event. I've been to the last, I think, 3 years now, and has it been 3 years or 4? I'm losing track. It's been a great event. Anarchapulco.com, promo code FTL to get you the discount. Again, February 13th through the 16th. Go there and learn more about it at anarchapulco.com. Free Talk Live is hoping to be in attendance. We're still finishing up the details with the organization, though, so looking forward to announcing even more about that in the future. We were just talking about a little bit of pop culture. We went off on a side about Rotten Tomatoes and user ratings versus critics ratings. And Johnson, you said you enjoyed Terminator Dark Fate,
yes,
which was its opening weekend, was this past weekend. I also went to see that movie. I've always enjoyed the Terminator movies. I liked the other ones too.
I have not always enjoyed the Terminator movies. There was one, Terminator Salvation.
That was the worst
of them.
Garbage. Yeah, that was definitely the low point in the series. There's no doubt about that. But I got to say, the new one, Dark Fate, it was entertaining. You know, it wasn't a terrible film. I would have given it maybe 7 out of 10 or something like that, or 3.5 stars out of 5. It wasn't bad. They had some good jokes, and
I might have gone to 4. I enjoyed it a pretty good. You know,
there were a couple points where I kind of got taken out of it. I'll tell you what took me out of the movie. Which
spoilers.
I'm not. I won't give any spoilers. Okay. Right. But some of the things that took me out of the movie. First, something was really weird about the frame rate of this movie. And I'm kind of like a techno geek with like I'm somewhat of a videophile. Like I'm the kind of guy who had laser discs in the late 1990s because video matters to me a little bit more than your typical viewer. And I don't know if it was what the theater was doing or if it was the way the movie was filmed, but it looked like it was video. The frame rate of the film did not look like film. Normally film is 24 frames a second. And that's what I'm used to seeing in a movie. Video is usually 30, but nowadays you can get 60 or even more frames per second. And I felt like it was maybe 30 or more. It had that video feel to it. I don't know if you picked up on that, Johnson. While were you at the Keene Cinema?
I was, but I did not pick up on it.
You didn't like walk into the 3D version.
There was no 3D of this. There's no 3D at all for Dark Fate. So I don't know if that was how they projected it, because sometimes you can see this effect if you watch a television version of a movie these days. They sort of like crank up the frame rate in a way that was not originally.
I can tell you for a fact, because I'm looking at an article right now, that Ang Lee and James Cameron have a strong difference of opinion about high frame rate filming.
Yeah.
Whereas James Cameron does not think that that's the way cinema's going. So James Cameron would not have released a high frame rate
That's
movie.
an article about
Unlike-
120 frames per second. This was not that fast.
Right. But even 60, I think, is... I mean, anything above, 24 is not cinematic anymore.
That's what I'm telling you. It was not cinematic. It looked like I was watching a high-budget TV movie. And some of the other parts, even though this was a $180 million budget film...
I'm going to guess that Keen Cinemas made a mistake.
They may have.
And like had it, you know how some of those projectors and some things have like that interpolation or whatever, like where it figures out the frames. You can actually turn this on if you have a high-end TV.
Mm-hmm.
It'll calculate the in-between frames, and it's like that soap opera effect, and it's awful.
It drives me up the wall.
I turned it off immediately on my television.
Yeah. Right.
I would like to see Gemini Man, Ang Lee's film that's 120 frames per second, just to see it
as it was intended.
Yeah. But to me, that sounds awful.
Yeah, I have never been able to stomach super high frame rates. It's unpleasant to me. It makes I don't necessarily get nauseous, but it's just hyper realistic and it looks fake. It's uncanny.
It looks too real, is what it is. It doesn't look
uncanny
fake.
valley level. Where
it doesn't look fake. It looks too real.
Yeah.
So anyway, that took me out of it for a few times. I noticed it multiple times throughout the movie. It wasn't just like the beginning or the end. It was like different times. And then also there was a few eye-rolling moments where it was just such kind of like a cheesy plot thing that happened. There's one part where like... And this isn't a spoiler, but at one point you meet Arnold's character. Obviously, you know he's in it, right?
Yeah, there was a few lines there.
And at one point he's just petting a dog, and they never explained
I liked
it.
that. I thought that was intentional.
It was obviously intentional, but they never explained how it was that he managed to. Obviously, he trained the dog or whatever. But in the Terminator movies, dogs bark at Terminators.
Right.
And in the movie, there's a scene where a dog barks at a Terminator. So, like, it's not like they forgot that dogs barked at Terminators for that. But then later, when you meet Arnold's character, he's like at his house, and they're sitting down with him, and there's a dog that he's petting.
With that level of subtlety, I also thought something was interesting. Was that there was a main character in this movie that had the name Danny, right?
You guys are saying a lot about the movie.
This is
the
not
Terminator
a spoiler.
petting a dog is not a spoiler.
Yeah, again, none of this is spoilers.
All right.
So there was a character named Danny, and in Terminator 2, the son was named Danny.
Spelled differently,
I wonder.
though.
Well, yeah, but I just wonder if there was anything intentional there.
I don't know. Let's see what else. So like a couple of plot points were like pretty ridiculous, like eye-rolling level ridiculous, and again without saying anything. Although that said, I really enjoyed the scene where the Terminator takes on the Border Patrol. That was that was kind of fun. So that's all I'll say. If you like the Terminator series, if you liked some of the Terminator series, you should probably go see it. One of the biggest complaints I saw was this claim that it was like super woke, meaning that it was major girl power or whatever. And no, it was not like in your face with feminism or anything like that. I expected it to be a little more overt about that, but it really wasn't. It was just that its main characters were female. So it was, from that perspective.
And what did you think, Johnson?
I could see where there'd be a questioning, but I don't want to get into it too much because talking about that would be a spoiler.
Well, no, just your opinion. Was it woke or was it half woke or
slightly? Maybe 10%. If you really wanted to interpret it that way, I could see how somebody would be bothered by one of the things that they did with the plot, but I wasn't bothered by it because it was so plausible.
So there you go. There's our thoughts on Terminator Dark Fate. I would say it's not necessary to see this in a theater. And that's the other thing. The $180 million budget, but there were some of these effects were so cheap looking. Like,
oh really?
Like bodies were being like swung around or whatever, and you could tell it was obviously computer animated. Like I expected more.
Maybe it was because the video settings you were experiencing, whatever. Maybe you wouldn't notice it on a TV.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I didn't have.
I'm surprised you didn't notice that. Maybe they fixed it. Maybe it was one bad presentation at the theater and they fixed it. But
go get your money back.
Because I went online immediately after the movie and was like looking for frame rate Terminator Dark Fate. I couldn't find anything.
Walk over and be like, I want to see. Did you guys run a bad showing? Because I'd like to just look in. I've seen this already.
It's just a bunch of teenagers in there, so it's possible they hit the wrong button. Who knows? All right, so more coming up here in moments. You can join us on the radio. It's Free Talk Live.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways.
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dinovite.com with just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dinovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dinovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dinovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict, or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We do have the Discord call-in line rooms. You can join us there and talk about whatever's on your mind. We can still get further into this story about Jeffrey Epstein on the way here tonight. You brought in a video, Johnson. We didn't get through quite half of it. We'll play a little bit more from that. And again, 855 450 free. Coming up in April of 2020, LibertyCon. It's a unique Liberty convention in Washington, D.C., but that's the only bad part. The good news is you'll be able to network with 70 pro-liberty organizations for the purpose of career advancement or business and internship opportunities. A great opportunity to network with folks at LibertyCon. Plus, you get to see great speakers like John Mackey, the Whole Foods CEO and co-founder. He'll be speaking on conscious capitalism. Vernon Smith, who won the Nobel Prize in economics, he'll speak on alternative markets. Miriam Issa is a pop culture expert and political commentator with over 300 million YouTube views. And Nassim Nicholas Taleb, who spent 21 years as a risk taker before becoming a researcher in philosophical, mathematical, and practical problems with probability. And there's a lot more to learn. Go to libertycon.com for more details on additional speakers and events, and use code FTL if you want a $10 discount on your registration. Student travel scholarships are available, so if you're a student and you need help getting there, they can help you with that. Just go to libertycon.com, plus discount rooms available for everybody at the Marriott Marquis in D.C.
Is that happening on the 20th of the month?
I'm afraid not, but we'll have a good time anyway. April 3rd through the 5th in D.C. in 2020. Again, go to libertycon.com. So we've been talking about, we ended up getting into pop culture. We can come back to that. I know, Conan, you want to talk about a game of the week on the way. We were discussing the new Terminator movie. You can share your thoughts with us on whatever's on your mind. Should we get back into ABC News here and what they did?
Yeah.
Scuttling a story, a very detailed story that one of their anchors, Amy Robach, had put together. She says 3 years ago, she had this ready to roll. She'd interviewed the alleged victim. She'd done the digging. She had the allegations, the evidence, or whatever. And ABC News editors told her, yeah, we're not going to go with that. Oh, we don't know who that guy is. That's not a big story. Just go ahead and put that on the shelf. And so she reveals this in a video that Project Veritas was leaked to them by somebody inside ABC News, and now they've put it out there. Right now I'm looking at their video channel on YouTube, Project Veritas. This video now has over 1 million views, and it just came out today. So this is pretty
surprised
breaking.
ABC hasn't taken it down with a copyright claim.
Well, that's a good question. Maybe they will be doing that, or maybe it's not copyrighted because or maybe it's fair use because it's news reporting.
Maybe,
right?
Should be.
So let's go on here. Here's more of their analysis.
But the creepy thing is that we would make access to all of these high-profile people.
Well, then I got a little concerned about why I couldn't get on.
On the leaked insider tape, Amy Robach says she had the Jeffrey Epstein story 3 years prior, but her exclusive interview was shelved. Robach says in the leaked tape there was a lot of pressure from Buckingham Palace. According to NPR, the famed lawyer Alan Dershowitz also pressured the network to kill the story.
Shortly before the interview was due to air, Harvard Emeritus Law Professor Alan Dershowitz called the network. He was also one of Epstein's lead defense attorneys.
We wonder if the story was killed to protect the rich and powerful. It seems few were worried about protecting the women who may have been Jeffrey Epstein's victims. Remember, Epstein was still a free man 3 years ago. And just to be clear, the interview has still not aired. What is ABC News waiting for, or who are they still protecting?
She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything.
Robach also has no doubt about what happened to Epstein when he finally was arrested and jailed.
So do I think he was killed? 100%. Yes, I do. Because he made his whole living blackmailing people.
That's a big allegation. It's one that's not been proven at any point. That's the suspect. What a lot of people suspect is that this guy was actually working for an intelligence agency. Was riding with Nobody, one of our co-hosts, to his trial today, and apparently, if you recall, back in the aughts, so like more than a decade ago, there was charges brought against Epstein by the federal government. And they ended up coming out with a plea deal for him where all the federal charges were dropped and he'd have to go to jail for 13 months. He would have work release where he got to work from his own office where he was there for like 16 hours a day and then went back to the jail to go to sleep and then went back to his office during the day, had, women visiting him at the office and, all kinds of stuff. And so he got this sweetheart plea deal, and apparently the prosecutor from the U.S. Attorney's Office, I think his name is Acosta at the time. This guy's gotten a lot of heat recently for basically letting Epstein go. His explanation allegedly was that this guy was an intelligence asset. He never said for whom he was an intelligence asset. So was he working for the CIA? Was he working for Mossad? Was he working for, some other intelligence agency? But that was the reason Acosta gave for backing off on Epstein, was that he was allegedly an intelligence
And what is
asset.
going on with all these rich people becoming assets for these major, intelligence agencies?
Well, maybe he always was.
Well, I'm drawing connections.
He didn't start out rich.
Did you guys see the thing that happened with Patrick Byrne?
I heard a little bit about that. He got targeted
being encouraged by the FBI to have a sexual relationship with a Russian spy.
Right.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
What's going on?
The founder of Overstock,
by
the way, that's who that is.
The founder of Overstock, has come out and, released all this information. Not a lot has happened since, but, he came out on the news and started revealing that there's these deep state conspiracy theories to have him become some sort of crazy government asset. So it's what's going on with our federal intelligence agencies? And I say our loosely here, but that's terrifying as to what is going on, that they're manipulating the wealthy into doing these things.
Into what levels will they stoop in order to retain their power and to keep doing whatever they're doing, whatever their goal is. And I don't think there's one goal. I think all of these agencies have different goals. I don't think there's just one group of people just sitting there pulling strings and whatnot. I think it's lots of little groups of people.
It's just crazy because it feels like a facade is shattering, and that a lot of these crazy conspiracy theorists
are true.
I've been right about things that, are ridiculous. Things that in the past you would have said no, you're crazy. Get out of
Hey
get
man,
out of here.
the simulation is coming to an end. Whatever happened in 2012, that was the end, and the game is unraveling.
So you think we're in the end of the end of the game where you're just kind of playing for nothing?
Someone is just playing and getting all those little extras that they missed during the main quest, and we are just playing our parts, day to day, helping continue the mouse wheel moving, and someone else is having a good old time.
So she thinks he was murdered. She says he made his whole living blackmailing people. Going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's bummed
There were a
out.
lot of men in those planes, a lot of men who visited that island, a lot of powerful men who came into that apartment.
When I heard he was found dead, his cell was
I knew immediately. And they made it seem as though he made that suicide attempt 2 weeks earlier, but his lawyers claimed that he was roughed up by his cellmate around the neck. That was all to plant the seed, and then that's why I really believe it. Really believe it.
There's more coming up here from the Project Veritas leaked video.
I am so surprised after her initial package was complete and it was denied, spiked, that she's still alive. Or maybe her serious cancer she went through a couple years back was part of some getting rid of her.
Well, that was well before she was even doing this story. So
there's more on the way here. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Take control of the airwaves. Free Talk Live.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits, at mypatriotsupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at mypatriotsupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. mypatriotsupply.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. Join them over at discord.lrn.fm. We're sharing with you the video, or at least most of it. We skipped a few repetitive parts from Project Veritas. ABC News anchor Amy Robach saying what she thought was not on the air. It wasn't on the air, but it was being recorded, revealing that the ABC News higher-ups completely squashed her story that she wanted to do and that she had done. She'd made this news story about Jeffrey Epstein, and they basically said, "Yeah, that's not going to air. We're not doing that. We don't know who this guy is."
It's going to change her life.
He's a nobody. You mean it would have propelled her to new levels of renown? amongst the news community. So we'll play a little bit more from this for you. Also, want to say thank you to Joshua, who is a Free Talk Live Silver Amplifier. Joshua contributes $5 a month to the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. The idea is that you can help us get Free Talk Live on more radio stations around the country. If you appreciate the work that we do, please join the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. You will get some cool perks, and one of those is access to our supporters chat rooms on our Discord forum. There's other perks as well. There's also still, for those of you who are still on Facebook, there's an AMP-only Facebook group there as well. So head over to amp.freetalklive.com. You can sign up with PayPal, with credit card, or with Bitcoin BTC at ampamp.freetalklive.com. So please do like Joshua has done and help us out at the AMP program. We really appreciate it. Let's continue here. More from Project Veritas on their YouTube channel. This is Amy Robach talking with a producer. They're in kind of a section here where they're talking about how they believe that Jeffrey Epstein was killed, that it wasn't a suicide. Mm-hmm. And that has kind of become a meme, I guess, recently online.
And a lot of evidence has come out to support it, too.
Really? I heard something about was it an autopsy or
that supported that
coroner?
He was murdered, not
that
suicide.
The injuries were consistent with a homicide, not a suicide?
Yep.
Although I think the official story is still that it was a suicide. So let's continue here. More from Project Veritas.
The last of the leaked tape has Robach talking about alleged Epstein conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell and how she should be very careful.
He's got to have left evidence like in the unexplained.
Well, Ghislaine Maxwell, who I had all sorts of stuff on her too. I love it. I'm like, it's so funny to hear everyone say her name now because I'm like, oh my God, like I had all the, and everyone was like, who's that? Who cares? I kept getting that. Who cares? She knows everything. She should be careful. Well, she was his, she went out and recruited all of these girls.
Okay.
She should watch her back.
Yeah, if she's even still alive.
Yeah, well, so should this reporter now.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Because they didn't, like I said, they didn't, this is all recent.
I heard she's in some South American country or something like that, right? Like, didn't she get out of here? Didn't she run off? Like, the last report I heard was
Maxwell?
That Maxwell was...
She could be anywhere. All I know is every now and then pictures of her will surface, and they're like crazy photoshopped.
Really?
With just weird, all kinds of weird symbolism and stuff. Like her she was at an In-N-Out Burger, I think, sitting there reading a book, and she had the book, and it was there was some symbolism there that maybe there was that she was trying to send messages.
I remember hearing that. I saw that story, and then shortly after, the next story was that she was no longer in the United States. I'd seen a headline that she was palling around with the guy who ran the modeling agency in some other country that was not one from which both of those people were from. So it sounds like they might be hiding out somewhere, which she should probably do, because if they're going to continue bringing charges, the last place you want to be would be in the United States.
If anyone even cares, because that's the way it seems to me. No one cares except a bunch of meme lords who are trying to keep it alive, and they're doing a pretty good job because it is everywhere. I mean, and you saw the Navy SEAL.
On Fox News.
That was just like today?
Recently,
within the past
few
very
days.
recently. So it is catching on. So the normies who never heard about Epstein, like this editor claimed, now they know who he is, and no one believes that he killed himself. Just like they don't believe that Hillary hasn't murdered 50+ people.
All right, here's the rest here with Robach in this leaked video.
Because if she goes, I'd have security guards all around me.
The brave insider who leaked this tape to us does not know who at ABC News spiked the story, but someone at ABC does. Our question: who killed the Epstein story at ABC News and why? Help us find out. James Goldston is the president of ABC News. What did he know, and when did he know it? Here's the landline number for ABC News President Goldston and his Twitter account. If you're an
number was 347-227-7710 is the phone number. 347-227-7710.
And my question is, right off the bat, is Goldston in the little black book, the Epstein book?
That's what I heard today, but it's not confirmed. So I heard I heard the allegation that Goldston was on the list of attendees on the Lolita Express. That's that. And again, that was hearsay. I have not confirmed that. So if you can confirm or deny, feel free. Here's a little bit more from
Goldston and his Twitter account. If you're an insider at ABC News or any other major media outlet or big tech company and you have seen corruption or bias, contact us at projectveritas.com/brave.
Well, kudos to them for breaking this news. It's a pretty big story. So there you go. Thanks for bringing that in, Johnson.
No problem.
The toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE. Let's go to Doug in New Jersey. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Doug.
Hey, how you doing? I actually know two girls that were...
Can you do me a favor and get a damn decent phone? Are you calling from the jail again?
Yeah, what Trump is obstructing now that is egregious to his removal...
I can't take this call. I can't put that on the air. Thank you for the call. And by the way, you always plug your YouTube channel. We have to take you off the air anyway for that. If you can't call on a decent phone, and most jail phones aren't that bad, so, sorry, man. 855-450-FREE. If I can barely hear you, I got to crank you up just to...
That slider was all the way to the top.
Yeah, and even 11. Then it was still barely even making any levels here. So I'm not gonna put it on the air. 855-450-FREE. Anyway, that guy, for those of you who feel like you're missing something, that he would have just rambled and been completely incoherent. That guy cannot put a sentence together. He's so crazy. He may actually be in the crazy ward because he's called and claimed previously that he's been in the crazy ward. So that may actually be the truth about him. But he can't make any sense. So there's your story. Jeffrey Epstein, he's gone, allegedly. Some people believe that he actually made an escape.
The nose, Ian, it's all about the nose.
What does that mean?
The dead Epstein had a crooked nose.
And the real one didn't?
Nope. I don't know. I don't really.
Do you buy that? Do you buy that they faked his death?
He's a rich, powerful man with a lot of rich, powerful friends. I mean, why wouldn't they? Hey, we got to get this guy out.
I mean, I think the important thing to note here is that at the very beginning of this, when she was talking about her story, that they had Clinton.
Yeah.
So
and a bunch of guys, and Gates, Bill Gates, he's in there.
There's another reason why that's
lots of names in the book, and I don't believe. I'm suspicious that he was blackmailing all these people.
Really? Well, that's what she thinks.
I don't. Well, that is one of the theories that's floating around. I think he was providing a service, and maybe he had some video on some of his clients, but I think most of his clients were repeat visitors to his island because they liked the services that he provided, and he didn't have anything. Which is to
say, sex with young teenage girls,
exactly, and not their wives, Hillary.
Right.
I mean, I think it's a sad state that we live in, where the rich and the powerful, in order to get off, and it's all about power, by the way. And there's no worse power, or there's no better way to portray your power than it is over someone who cannot defend themselves. And what else is better than underage people who can't consent? Or in these, some of them can.
That's another argument and a whole other discussion. I mean, some of these women presented themselves as victims. And if you're being victimized, why would you come back again and again and again to be victimized?
Unless it's about the money, or they
got paid.
Low self-esteem.
Well, whatever it was, that may be true, but at the same time, they're getting paid. So
and these are just the ones that have come forward. We don't know about any individuals who
Well, right. That's the other thing. Over the decades that this guy operated this scheme or whatever, there must have been hundreds, if not thousands, of young women that had at some point gone to this man's house in West Palm or wherever it was that he lived and did this. And he wasn't just in West Palm; he was in New York City, and he had a house out in New Mexico. So just try to imagine over decades, 2 or 3 decades, how long this has gone on. How many, because once they got over a certain age, they weren't useful to him anymore. So he always had to have new ones coming in. And yet only a handful of them are actually making allegations. So what's the truth about this guy? We may never know. Anyway, more coming up here. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live, Hour 3 next. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,510, silver at $18.05, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,448. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, in what is being called the largest ever single day of commutations in the history of the United States, hundreds of nonviolent drug offenders and other low-level nonviolent offenders are being set free from Oklahoma prisons on Monday. In a historic move, Governor Kevin Stitt signed the recommendations to release more than 450 inmates on Friday. Now, all of those people whose lives were thought to be ruined because they were caught with substances deemed illegal by the state will have a second chance at life. Activist Post reports the move comes after a 2016 measure passed through the Oklahoma legislative process titled State Question 780, making low-level drug and property crimes misdemeanors instead of felonies. Governor Stitt signed a bill earlier this year retroactively applying the law to those who were rotting in jail for having a bit of a plant on them. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The United Kingdom's largest lenders have been writing off more loans than they were last year. Another indication that many businesses are hurting in a deteriorating economic environment. Activist Post reports that in the third quarter of 2019, write-downs on bad debt at 4 major British banks increased 51% from the same quarter of 2018. The amount of non-performing loans that have been written off by RBS, Lloyds, HSBC, and Barclays between July and September reached approximately $2.27 billion. During the same period last year, it was around $1.51 billion. An analysis conducted by UK-based financial services company AJ Bell shows. The difference has been attributed to the worsening economic conditions that are negatively affecting more and more companies operating in the country. One such example is the British global travel group Thomas Cook, which collapsed in September. A total of 4,355 businesses were unable to pay their debts in the third quarter. The ACLU has sued the Federal Bureau of Investigation and other federal agencies, making claims that the government is improperly withholding information on how it uses a facial recognition database on millions of Americans. Activist Post reports the civil rights organization also asked for a federal court to intervene and order the FBI and related agencies to turn over all records concerning their use of face recognition technology. That's according to a legal document. The ACLU lawsuit names the FBI, Justice Department, and Drug Enforcement Administration, alleging the agencies failed to produce any responsive documents in response to a Freedom of Information Act request. The FBI is using technology called the Interstate Photo System to identify potential suspects, and a watchdog organization, the Government Accountability Office, claimed that the agency has access to 640 million photographs, which includes driver's licenses, passports, and mugshots. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's now been 7 days since a group of hikers went missing in Maine's Acadia National Park, but rescue crews there are still holding out hope of finding them alive. Autistic reporter Michael Falk is on the scene there. Michael.
Hello, Brooke. My socks got wet. That cameraman gave me new socks. I am fine.
That's good, Michael, but what's the situation there?
The names of the hikers are Casey Allman, Brian Emery, Ashley Thorson. The hikers were last seen 174 hours ago. Since then, 3 very big storms have hit here. There's a 1.24% chance that all of the hikers are alive. Why are you looking for the hikers?
Well, we're still hopeful that we might be able to find them. There's been a break in the weather, so we're hoping that...
Over the past 7 days, the average high temperature has been 21 degrees Fahrenheit. Over the past 7 days, the average low temperature has been 6 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right. So we did another sweep of the park from the air, but we didn't see anything.
Without shelter, the human body can withstand temperatures this cold for a maximum of 3 hours. Is there shelter in the forest for the hikers?
Not that we know of.
They are frozen.
Well, we like it.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Conan.
Coming up here tonight, the politician who advocated caning for adultery has himself been caned for adultery. As is so often the case with these hypocritical, scum-sucking politicians.
They call that projection.
Yeah, they want to pass laws to prohibit things that they themselves are actually guilty of. Yet another example of this. But first, from rightwingwatch.org, some relatively fresh news actually provided in our news story show prep channel on the Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm. I don't know what these users are doing with their usernames. I can't read this person's username, so I have no idea.
Yeah, you know what? I was off of Discord for a while, and then when I came back, there's all these weird characters and this weird fonts. How is that even allowed? I can't read any of this.
Yeah,
how am I supposed to type that in?
You can't. Yeah,
I guess I have to click. I guess I have to click on that name
even
manually.
know. Maybe it's because they don't want people to tag them. I don't know what the deal is.
I think Discord. You got do away with it. Get rid of it. It's crap. We don't need that.
I'd give the guy credit if I could read his damn name, but I can't. Anyway, the headline here: PayPal is now terminating Stefan Molyneux's account.
Yeah.
According to rightwingwatch.org. Now, who is Stefan Molyneux?
Some guy. He's a Canadian from Scandinavia.
Yep, that's all true.
He's a universally preferable YouTuber.
He's bald.
He used to be a libertarian, and something happened to this guy. Was it cancer? Do you think that's what ate his brain away or something like that?
He had extensive chemotherapy.
Is that the excuse, though, for becoming a Nazi or whatever? I don't know if he would self-describe as that.
I just think he lost a few IQ points, and that's what the direction took him in. I mean,
Well, I don't know what the story is behind what happened with the fall of Stefan Molyneux, but I mean, we've had him on our show in the past.
Yeah.
We when we broadcast from the Porcupine Freedom Festival years ago, he used to attend that event as a speaker and would bring his family up there, and he was a very principled voluntarist, a very principled, anarchist type. He had a regular television, or not television, but YouTube channel, which he still has apparently, and he's still doing his YouTube thing, but he shifted several years ago, right around the time when Chris Cantwell shifted, because Chris Cantwell tends to follow what Stefan Molyneux does.
They must have put something in the water. Got to both of them.
Well, I think it's just Chris Cantwell just follows what Molyneux does. He's highly influenced by Molyneux. But Molyneux, very intelligent guy, very, very persuasive. He has some really classic libertarian videos out there that have, I think, persuaded a lot of people to join the liberty movement. And then he just made this hard right turn all of a sudden and started becoming sort of misogynistic and basically kind of alt-right / maybe even white nationalist. I don't know. I don't watch the guy's stuff. I've only kind of encountered little bits over the years of some of the things he's been saying, and he doesn't sound libertarian like he used to. So the story here is that PayPal is currently in the process of ending its services with far-right YouTube personality Stefan Molyneux. PayPal spokesperson provided Right Wing Watch with a statement on Tuesday saying that after an extensive review, quote, PayPal has made the decision to discontinue our business relationship with Stefan Molyneux, unquote. An email inquiry sent to his Free Domain Radio show was not returned, but this article will be updated if Molyneux does decide to comment. PayPal donations were a key source of Molyneux's revenue. Videos uploaded to his YouTube channel include links to a donation page with numerous buttons that route users to a PayPal portal where they can make reoccurring and one-time donations to his operation.
It's ironic, actually, that I stopped watching most Molyneux videos while remaining subscribed to him on YouTube anyway, just in case anything ever came across that I decided I wanted to watch again, or, something interesting. And an interesting video popped up recently that I decided to actually watch the full, which was just him, basically, I mean, he was whining. I mean, I don't mean to be, sound like completely down about it, but he was just whining about how he's being censored. And how, this, the landscape now is these companies are, screwing people and they're controlling speech, essentially.
A certain group of people.
Well, yeah, Facebook, Google.
That certain group is screwing another certain a particular group of mostly Molyneux
The left
types.
who controls these big companies is censoring the right, essentially, is what's going on, in these large companies. And, Molyneux is talking about it. And it's just interesting to me because what I find really interesting is that, and again, I've had this conspiracy for the longest time about Cantwell, that, because he's kind of said it and he's hinted at it all along, that his whole Nazi persona character was developed with outing this censoring since the beginning.
What do you mean by outing it? By bringing it
Cantwell
to the
started
front?
launching into his Nazi character, and let me be clear here.
He uses that term, by the way, to describe himself.
Yeah, character. Yeah, that he's
he says Chris Cantwell is a character.
Yeah, and I've advocated for the fact that I thought Chris Cantwell is a character and not actually Chris Cantwell since he was an anarcho-capitalist. since before he went and became a nationalist, became a white nationalist.
Back when he was
even
libertarian Chris Cantwell, who was angry at the cops when he moved to New Hampshire.
He was angry at the cops, and when I was the only person standing up and saying, because back in the day there was out of this building there was a place located called the Keene Activist Center for activists to come, and it was a membership organization, and the one of the, I guess, qualifications for being a member was that you needed to be an advocate for peace. And I was the only person in the group. I think there was, some touch and go with another person here by the name of Garrett, who I believe has been on this show in the past, who basically I was the only one who was saying, look, this person who's advocating for killing cops, even if it's just their character, then you need to drop the character to say that you're an advocate for peace. You can't be doing this on the one hand and then saying that you're an advocate for peace on the other. Or saying that, oh, well, it's just retaliatory force to, kill the postman because they're, stealing from you with taxes, or murdering a little girl because she stole your paperclip, these were like legit philosophical discussions going on at the time with Cantwell. And I was one of the few people, and there's this whole video about discussing whether or not Cantwell should be a member of this Keene Activist Center, which has been dissolved because it was contentious, because people were fighting over whether or not people were libertarian enough, and going through these, libertarian purity tests, right? So, I'm an advocate of the purity test. I always have been, and and I was very well proven out to be right that, hey, advocate for violence here is not a peace advocate, and but I said that there seems to be a very big difference between the persona that Cantwell seems to be in person, and which is very de-escalating, peaceful person.
He's fun to be around.
Yeah, he's fun to be here. He's humorous. He's not. He's not
a talker. He is a bit of a comedian.
And he has friends of all different racial groups, and has for a long time. And the white nationalist thing is just kind of a fiction. And he had said many times over, as this whole thing was developing, you watch the censorship, there's censorship going on these big platforms, it's getting worse. He said a lot of things, and if you look back and if you were to comb through, and anybody took the time to comb through the media, you would see this very clear pattern of he was developing this specifically to bring out and trigger him being censored. It was like,
you think this was purposeful?
Oh, I absolutely think it was purposeful.
Even though, do you think it went beyond what he expected it to?
I think he went well beyond what he expected it to, but I think once he committed himself to it, he felt, like...
It's damaged his finances pretty significantly.
Oh, yeah.
He's up against a lawsuit now.
And what was the ultimate outcome? Is he trying to start the revolution?
I don't know.
Well, if you believe what he says, then he's trying to create some sort of white nationalist society. With him being in charge of the government. More coming. He's turned into a total statist, at least in his messaging. More coming up.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? 1? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com. And it's a place you can send any business. And they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Do you want to join the ultra wealthy by using a 160-year-old investing program that is no longer exclusive? Keep your funds fluid and 100% tax-free for you or your heirs with no contribution limits and without ever losing your principal with Fortune DNA. Learn how to avoid the volatility of the market and put certainty back into your investing future. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us on the radio waves. Our number for you is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great, but eating right all the time these days can be a challenge. Travel and work, of course, can get in the way, or maybe you just don't have the desire or the time to shop and cook the right foods. Well, Balance of Nature can help. With 3 of their Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their veggie capsules, you get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that's a lot of nutrition. You can go online and become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. And then after your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. It's a limited time offer, so go to balanceofnature.com, and you can use discount code FTL to get that deal. That's balanceofnature.com with code FTL. We're talking about Stefan Molyneux. Formerly a guest on Free Talk Live, has taken a hard right turn in the last several, maybe few years. It's sad to see because he really was a great libertarian communicator for a long time. He did some really epic videos online of helping people understand why the state is a terrible concept, and he was totally principled and really, entertaining, smart guy. And then I don't know what happened to him, but he started going in a right-wing direction and has become this sort of far right, as being described here at rightwingwatch.org, white nationalist. They actually get into a little bit of what happened in this story about how PayPal is now breaking up with Molyneux. They are ending their business relationship, according to a statement that PayPal recently made. They describe Molyneux in the rightwingwatch.org as a far-right political entertainer who stars in what his website describes as the, quote, #1 philosophy show in the world, which he's been using that claim for a long time. I don't know what metric, how you can tell whether you're the #1 philosophy show, how you make that claim. Molyneux has incorporated white nationalist talking points about immigration into his programming. And in a documentary Molyneux released last year, he expressed his sympathies with white nationalism after visiting Poland, saying, quote, I've always been skeptical of the ideas of white nationalism, of identitarianism and white identity. He said further, however, I'm an empiricist and I could not help but notice that I could have peaceful, free, easy, civilized, and safe discussions in what is essentially an all-white country, unquote, he said in the film released last year. In recent months, Molyneux's rhetoric has grown even more blatantly extreme and anti-Semitic. In July of this year, Molyneux said that he was fighting against anti-Semitism for years until it dawned on him that, quote, Jews weren't really fighting against anti-white racism, unquote. Nandini Jami, co-founder of the nonprofit activist group Sleeping Giants, first flagged Molyneux's extreme content to PayPal in April of this year and was told the information she provided would be passed along to PayPal's investigative team. PayPal has grappled with fringe groups that use its services in recent years. The company has suspended its business relationships with figures and groups including Alex Jones, Gab, the Ku Klux Klan, Richard Spencer, the Proud Boys, and other right-wing extremist groups. According to Jami, she says, quote, suspending Stefan Molyneux should have been an open and shut case, so I find it troubling that PayPal required 7 months to complete an investigation of an obvious white nationalist. Well, PayPal's a big company. These companies don't exactly move fast when it comes to making decisions, especially
they did when it came to Alex Jones.
Did they?
They knew before it all happened because they all did it at the same time. And what I want to know is this is something YouTube would have done, I think, before PayPal would have touched this.
Is his YouTube channel still up?
Well, that's a good question.
Stefan Molyneux.
Johnson just said you saw one of them a couple days ago, right?
So
a Molyneux YouTube video.
Oh, well, no, I don't think it was a couple days ago. It was a while back.
Maybe that's coming next. I don't know. Jami told Right Wing Watch via Twitter, quote, what kind of evidence do they need to move forward with an account suspension? Pictures of men in hoods, people carrying signs that say, we're the KKK? I suspect that Molyneux evaded suspension for so long because he operates within a gray area that tech platforms are generally unwilling to broach. She said further, I hate to think that he was able to buy himself more time on PayPal by labeling himself a philosopher instead of white nationalist, but she says she thinks that's likely.
Yep, his channel is still up.
Still up on
and
YouTube.
Guess what? I'm subscribed.
Quote, now that he's been booted from PayPal, I think he's going to find himself bouncing around between payment processors. No one's going to want to touch him. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Look, it's their decision. PayPal, if they don't want to do business with you, they're not obligated to do so. We've seen PayPal break up with people because they sell Bitcoin online. So,
but I mean, not actually advocating for violence against other people. I mean, has he come out saying that we need to put people on cattle cars and ship them out of our country because,
I doubt that.
Because they're messing up our white nationalism? Is he even really a white nationalist? Or is he just putting these ideas out there?
It sounds like it. I mean, based on the quote that Right Wing Watch had brought in here, suggesting that, I have not been watching his stuff, Conan, so I can't speak.
Well, I haven't either, but I know some of the people who are like him, who I don't have issue with. I mean, they are alt-right-ish, like Paul Joseph Watson and Sargon of Akkad. These are alt-right-ish guys, and and they're the ones that are next in the chopping block. And I think it's sad that these guys they're just floating ideas, and these ideas have become criminal in the eyes of some of these agencies.
Floating an idea and discussing the idea with maybe a counterpoint, and then just embracing those ideas and saying these are the right ideas, as it seems that Molyneux has gone in a white nationalist direction. That's the understanding that I have from people who've been paying
I think
attention.
that all three of us haven't heard him in such a long time. The last time I heard him, one of his callers was calling in, and they were discussing his dreams, and I was kind of like, I don't need to. This is too Freudian for me. I don't need to listen to this. And that was about 2 or 3 years ago, and I haven't really followed him since. Every now and then he'll do like a special. He'll break someone down, like one of these shooters or something. Mm-hmm. And I think he does a pretty good job of breaking it down, the facts. But I don't know where he stands.
If you do, maybe you've been paying closer attention The number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
So
they do have some quotes, over at the Southern Poverty Law Center from Molyneux, complete with citations. Sorry.
So the video I watched of his was from a month ago, and it was titled Stephen Molyneux, My Brutal Year. So that was what I watched. That was the video I watched. It's one of his shorter videos. Normally his videos are like a lot of the times 1 to 2 hours long, and this one was only like 15 minutes, and it was just him, talking about how times have been hard for Free Domain Radio.
Yeah, so some of these quotes here, I don't, if you want, I can read some of them, but he's definitely talking a lot about race and and
his
whiteness.
big thing is the IQ difference. He likes to talk about how the whites are.
Well, that's how Cantwell started.
The whites and the Asians have a higher IQ than other people's, and that puts them above and ahead.
Yeah, and that's how Cantwell started. Remember Cantwell, when we ended up kicking him off of Free Talk Live for becoming a racist, he started talking about what he called race realism. So it wasn't white nationalism at that time. It was race realism. Not racism, but race realism. It's just a code word, basically, for racism. We got more on the way here. If you want to share your thoughts on the fall of Stefan Molyneux, and Cantwell has had a very similar trajectory, where he has now embraced the state completely. He believes the state can be used as a tool to create his perfect little white world. It's disgusting.
And remember, racism is just a subset of collectivism.
And anyway, the number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Let's get into hypocrisy on the way with caning coming up. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarists, thinkers, and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and of course, you can bring up whatever you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. In the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Conan.
Of course, you can bring up anything that you want to. Coming up, a politician, he advocated caning for adultery, and he's now receiving a caning for adultery. Story from CNN internationally. We'll get into that. Of course, your calls and thoughts are welcome. Let's go to Bad Slave. He's on the line on our Discord server. Bad Slave calling from New Hampshire.
Wow, that's quick. Thank you for taking my call.
Go ahead.
I'm going to just chime in on behalf of, what I still consider a friend in Stefan Molyneux.
He's your friend?
Well, we've met, and I followed him.
Well, I've met him, and I don't consider him a friend. I've interviewed him on the air, and I don't consider him a friend. He was a very talented communicator for the ideas of liberty, and from what I understand, that has changed.
Well, I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you still watching his content?
Yeah, and if you're not, then you're not getting much of it, okay? I mean, how can you judge someone that you're not even listening?
I've heard enough. I'll say that. I've heard enough.
Well, no, you think you've heard enough.
Yeah.
The fact is that he's talking all the time about all kinds of things, and not the least of which are white nationalists. I would say nationalists. I mean, people. He's leaned more towards honoring his nation than most of us libertarians have. I don't
honoring his nation. So meaning he's becoming a statist.
No,
statist.
not so much that.
Nationalist. You'd describe him as a nationalist.
A nationalist. He believes in Canada, I guess, but.
Mm-hmm. Didn't he sing the American, like the Star Spangled Banner when Trump got elected?
I didn't hear that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he did. He sang some sort of American nationalist song. He became a Trumper.
He was probably making a joke at the time. I mean, listen,
I'm pretty sure he was pro-Trump.
I don't think there's anything that's really, alt-right-ish about Stefan. It just doesn't fit. You look at Richard Spencer, and you've got a different dude there, man. You're just I don't know. You think that Stefan has followed Cantwell?
No, it's the reverse. Chris Cantwell has followed Stefan Molyneux.
Well, that's not true. Stefan is not gone anywhere near, hating other races.
Okay. So he doesn't hate other races, but he believes that blacks are inferior to whites.
No, he said this is all just curves. I mean, it's what.
But that's what he believes, right? That's
it's what many people believe.
But that's what he believes.
No, it's what scientists. He's taken information from people who claim.
Oh, it's just science. He's just saying what scientists are saying is what you're saying.
Well, he agrees because he's not a dummy either.
So, what's the goal of promoting that particular brand of science? To get out there and make statements about blacks are not as smart as whites. Whites aren't as smart as Asians. These statements that you hear people like this make. What's the point of doing that?
I'm not so sure. I don't know. I mean,
it's to drag black people through the mud, is what it is. It's to collectivize. It's to collectivize all people as a particular level of intelligence, which for somebody who purportedly used to be an individualist is a complete falling away from what that person used to believe.
He's still an individualist.
Well, then what's the point of talking about groups like that? That's what Chris Cantwell has become obsessed with over the last several years.
The moment you can accept
Cantwell has, and Molyneux has not.
Well, I disagree with you.
There's a difference.
The moment that you can accept the statement that all blacks are less intelligent than white people, the moment you can accept...
You can't listen if you're yelling, bad slave.
The moment that you can accept that all whites are less intelligent, or that are more intelligent, or the blacks are less intelligent, or that Asians are more intelligent, if you can accept that, then you could also accept the statement that all whites are racist, right? Because you can accept statements about race.
I don't accept that. I don't accept that. I don't even accept the idea that individually that I've met people that are plenty of melanin in them that have that are way smarter than me, and I'm no.
Right, you're looking at individuals.
Right.
You're not talking about groups.
And so is Stefan.
No, he's not. Not according to the quotes I'm reading online. No, I think you're covering for him for whatever reason, and I'm not sure what that is. But
because I've watched some of the videos where he's clearly being very racist, and he is couching it in the science. But that's what a lot of people do.
That's right. That's
what
racists. And that way they can point to science and say, see. It's science that says this over here, even though they're ignoring the individual. And I want to say thank you for the call tonight, Bad Slave, but it's not that I haven't listened to anything he said. I've seen enough. I don't want to watch any more of it because I'm disgusted by it. I've heard it all from Chris Cantwell, and I suspect that Chris Cantwell picked up a lot of it from Stefan Molyneux.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because the direction Stefan Molyneux goes is the direction Chris Cantwell goes. Chris Cantwell, by the way, follows every single thing that comes out from Stefan Molyneux. Everything. He watches every video that Stefan Molyneux does here. Here's a quote from, this is Stefan's video from October 4th of 2015. Quote, screaming racism at people because blacks are collectively less intelligent is insane, unquote. He goes on with a bunch of talking about whites and blacks and whites and blacks and Jews and this and that. And if that's what you're spending your time talking about, then it's understandable why somebody might think that you're a racist. And racism is the belief that one race is superior over another race. And it usually has to do with, being very negative towards them.
That's what the dictionary says.
Yeah.
It's become something completely different these days. Now it is if you just embrace stereotypes,
and
you could be labeled a racist. It's a different.
This thing about studying groups and judging groups based on their IQs or whatever. This is something that governments do.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that organizations do that are populated by government loving liberals who want to create policies to help certain groups when they're actually really hurting them, right? And they just want to create all these different little systems based on creating one size fits all as best as they can for different groups of people. And it's a waste of time. It's like nonsense. Yep. If you just, and this is what Stefan Molyneux was fighting against those systems.
He was against the state.
Yeah, he was against the state.
Previously.
He was against those types of collectivist systems, because Stefan Molyneux originally got a lot of his philosophy, from Ayn Rand, and was kind of an objectivist and was against collectivizing and these kinds of things, and somehow, kind of like a lot of people who have been Ayn Rand followers, became this nationalist, pro-government nonsense. Unfortunately,
but what changed? What was because usually a lot of people,
again, I think it was the chemotherapy.
They find libertarian they find libertarianism later on in life, and they just they just stay with it.
All sorts of scientific backing
they get burned out quite often. They want to move away from it all, but they never stop being libertarian.
Well, there's all sorts of scientific backing that chemotherapy kills lots and lots and lots of brain cells. Yeah.
Toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE. That's the number where you can join us to ask what changed. That's Johnson's theory. If you are a longtime Stefan Molyneux listener and you saw the devolution happen, the fall, and you can
I don't think
it?
He's stupid. I just think that it was a change.
Well, it's not stupid either. We're coming up.
Do you feel like many of us? All the distractions in the world taking our minds and focus off what really needs to get done day to day? Well, Jeunesse has a dietary supplement called Mind to help with mental distraction, and it supports memory function. Go to GCNlife.com now to check it out. You're only at your best when your mind is at its best. Go to GCNlife.com or call toll-free 844-443-6637. That's GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry MyPillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
This is Fred.
Hi, I'm Fred.
Fred's a repeater.
I tend to repeat.
Fred has a business.
I do have a business.
And a problem. Fred repeats the same tired advertising over and over, and now it doesn't work.
Over and over.
But Fred is about to see a vision.
I'm seeing a vision.
Advertising on the Genesis Communications Network is the smart way for Fred to reach his potential customers with the most affordable national advertising rates, period. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just email advertise@gcnlive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us on the radio. Our number here is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about the fall of Stefan Molyneux, who at one time was a principled libertarian, advocating for the end of the state, introducing people to the slavery. I think he even made a video about how you were enslaved by the state. Basically, it was really big eye-opening.
This is the story of your
enslavement. That's, I believe, what the name of the video was. Actually, it wasn't coming to my mind, but yeah. So it's a lot of people they're getting turned on to freedom by this guy, and now he sounds apparently more like a white nationalist. At least for the last several years that he's been doing his show. The folks over at the Southern Poverty Law Center, by no means an unbiased source, have a detailed article kind of going through his background and his transition, where, how he kind of got to where he is, highlighting some, not so great quotes from Molyneux here, where he seems to be obsessed with talking about race, whereas previously he was talking about the state and why the state is a terrible thing. And like Chris Cantwell, who follows him step by step, Molyneux has gone away from that sort of thing and has now embraced these white nationalist-sounding talking points. We can share more of that with you here as well if you want to join us. Ian Johnson and Conan here in the studio tonight. Of course, you can join us online anytime you want over at freetalklive.com. Another quote here from an interview. He interviewed somebody named Kevin Beaver in 2016. This was May 28th. Quote, "One of the biggest questions in America is ethnic crime rates. And he says, the Asians are the model minority, while American blacks and blacks around the world have truly shockingly high levels of criminality. And the general explanation is, slavery plus racism plus poverty, whatever it is which creates this unholy brew. But as far as I understand it, there are significant contributions that your field can make to help people untangle why there are such differences in ethnic positive and negative behaviors in society." He says, American blacks have a roughly standard IQ below whites. So again, just obsessive talking about people in groups says crystal clear to me that you're not an individualist anymore. Because even if those things are true, and I've said this to Chris Cantwell I don't know how many times, I don't know, because we've had him on, he's called into this show. We've had him on Freer Talk Live, the after show, where he went up against Arya on one episode. He went up against Nobody on another episode, which was particularly good. They really got into it and really dug in deep to these issues. And, as I've said to Cantwell many a times, it's the individual that matters. As libertarians, that's what we believe. We don't look at people, or at least we try not to. We certainly understand that people have a tendency to do this, right? Like in our lives, people have a tendency to group folks together by whatever the common thread might happen to be between them. Republicans, Democrats, blacks and whites and men and women.
It's normal. I hang out with gamers.
Gamers and gays and, you name it, right? But it's important to step out of that and look at the person as an individual. What are they bringing to the table? What is it that they are good at? What are they smart about? What are they, what are their areas of intellect and intelligence? And to just look at groups and scientific studies ignores all of that. It ignores the individual, and it is contrary to what we as freedom-loving people should believe, and what these men like Molyneux used to believe. Let's go to Mortified Turkey. He's on our Discord lines. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah. You guys were talking about Cantwell and how one theory is that even if it's just like a thought, the theory that he went and was kind of seeing censorship or so-called censorship on media on platforms, and that he perhaps wanted to adopt a character to call out the censorship. But when he goes through and becomes a Nazi to call out censorship, the part that nobody ever explains to me is, why should YouTube platform Nazis? Why should Twitter platform Nazis? Why should Facebook platform Nazis? I doubt they really want to do that. So what's the hypocrisy involved in not platforming Nazis or racists or even the alt-right? Because I don't figure they want to.
Who was saying there was hypocrisy?
Well, it's just like, what would he be calling out as far as censorship? I think it's kind of obvious that they'd want to censor those people from their platforms, just for various reasons, including the market probably would.
Because platforms aren't publishers. And so there's a huge difference legally if you are a publisher that is deciding the narrative that you want to promote versus being a platform. So when you say deplatform, that's not what they're doing. They're becoming a publisher, right? Because they're choosing what narrative that they support as a company. So that means that they're not a platform anymore. So you can't deplatform someone, right? That's a fiction. What that is a publisher choosing to decide what content that they want to have around or not have around.
And you're saying that they should be that there's some sort of regulation that comes into place when they become. They're not going to put people being killed. They're not going to put people torturing animals. They're not going to put child pornography. I'm not sure why they're going to put Nazis either, and I'm not sure why that's considered some sort of blatant or evil kind of censorship. I wouldn't want to see Nazis on my Facebook feed personally.
Then don't look at it. That's part of the thing about Facebook, right? Is that you don't have to be friends with these people. But the other issue there is that it comes down to there's like government protections for publishers, right? There's freedom of speech.
They can't be sued for whatever happens on their platform. They can't be sued for it. But because they've become a publisher,
right
now it's the law has been upturned, and now if someone was to shoot up their school and a couple days before they had posted on Facebook that they were going to do it, and Facebook didn't notify the authorities and fast enough or something, the school could sue Facebook, the parents could, all manner of things could happen to Facebook, except they're supposed to be safe because they're just an open platform the way that they're supposed to be. But because they've been deplatforming everybody for the last year, it's a little bit different now.
I don't buy it. I don't see any evidence that they have any obligation to air any particular point of viewpoint.
I don't think they do. It's their private property. They can do whatever they want with it.
I don't think that carries any weight. We don't see any court cases. We don't see anybody. It seems like it'd be a very obscure legal theory that doesn't.
Because they're not a publisher, except they're proving that they really are.
I don't care what the word is. It's their private property. They can put whoever they want there. Whether they're a publisher or a platform or whatever, it's their platform. It's their publishing.
But we're not talking about a private platform any longer. We're talking about legalities.
Well, I don't care what the legalities are.
And I think all three of us in this room really care about it. But how do you protect yourself? How do you protect your platform if someone decides to sue you? What happens if one of your publishers on Free Talk Live posts something that is defamatory and ends up someone gets killed because of it, and then the entities that were harmed try to sue you?
Well, I don't have anything, so they're not going to get anything out of me.
But that might be happening, and I'm thinking some of these big entities are looking for some type of protection, and that's how this law. I'm not sure what the law actually says.
I still don't know what this law is. People talk about this platform and the difference between that and a publisher, and I don't know what the law is on that. And I think it's a lot of speculation. Hey, Turkey, thanks for the call tonight. A little bit more here on Molyneux. from the article at the SPLC, they talk about what happened to him, right? So they talk about how he was a libertarian and he was pro-Ron Paul in 2008, and then all of a sudden in 2013, 2014 till now, they say his output became more politically extreme, shifting from Ayn Rand libertarian right to the ethno-nationalist far right, supporting Donald Trump. And some other far-right politicians in their electoral bids in 2016. Molyneux endorses their nativist, Islamophobic, ethno-nationalist immigration policies and opposition to globalists. This represents a sharp change from his point of view in 2007, when which was back when we had him on the air, when he informed his viewers that, quote, Muslims are not your enemy, unquote. He is now firmly established as a prominent personality within the so-called pro-Trump alt-right reactionary community and occasionally collaborates with other commentators like Alex Jones. By far the most disturbing aspect of his move to the far right is his overt and sustained endorsement, promotion, and amplification of so-called scientific racism to his 650,000 subscribers on YouTube, which has been delivered alongside apologism for apartheid, the transatlantic slave trade, and the demonization of social justice leaders such as Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King.
Mandela. You said him.
And then they go on to talk about how Molyneux now believes that non-white human beings are genetically inferior to whites, and that this, above all other factors, explains the president in the past. So, I mean, there's been a major shift in this guy's content, and I don't have to sit and watch it all to know that that's true. I've seen enough, and it's sad. We're out of time tonight, or you can join us tomorrow online. In the meantime, freetalklive.com.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
My blood work with my doctor is the best it's ever been, all my numbers. And this is the only supplement I take now. Whatever I'm doing, he said, keep it up.
We're landlords, and I have about 3 people moving in, and it's been very strenuous, but I have the energy to do it, thanks to, Balance of Nature.
My blood work has been getting better and better every 6 months, and I have no explanation for it other than I'm taking a Balance of Nature. All the numbers are always changing for the better, every blood test.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,510, silver at $18.05, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,448. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing 1 or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, in what is being called the largest ever single day of commutations in the history of the United States, hundreds of nonviolent drug offenders and other low-level nonviolent offenders are being set free from Oklahoma prisons on Monday. In a historic move, Governor Kevin Stitt signed the recommendations to release more than 450 inmates on Friday. Now, all of those people whose lives were thought to be ruined because they were caught with substances deemed illegal by the state will have a second chance at life. Activist Post reports the move comes after a 2016 measure passed through the Oklahoma legislative process titled State Question 780, making low-level drug and property crimes misdemeanors instead of felonies. Governor Stitt signed a bill earlier this year retroactively applying the law to those who were rotting in jail for having a bit of a plant on them. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The United Kingdom's largest lenders have been writing off more loans than they were last year. Another indication that many businesses are hurting in a deteriorating economic environment. Activist Post reports that in the third quarter of 2019, write-downs on bad debt at 4 major British banks increased 51% from the same quarter of 2018. The amount of non-performing loans that have been written off by RBS, Lloyds, HSBC, and Barclays between July and September reached approximately $2.27 billion. During the same period last year, it was around $1.51 billion. An analysis conducted by UK-based financial services company AJ Bell shows. The difference has been attributed to the worsening economic conditions that are negatively affecting more and more companies operating in the country. One such example is the British global travel group Thomas Cook, which collapsed in September. A total of 4,355 businesses were unable to pay their debts in the third quarter. The ACLU has sued the Federal Bureau of Investigation and other federal agencies, making claims that the government is improperly withholding information on how it uses a facial recognition database on millions of Americans. Activist Post reports the civil rights organization also asked for a federal court to intervene and order the FBI and related agencies to turn over all records concerning their use of face recognition technology. That's according to a legal document. The ACLU lawsuit names the FBI, Justice Department, and Drug Enforcement Administration, alleging the agencies failed to produce any responsive documents in response to a Freedom of Information Act request. The FBI is using technology called the Interstate Photo System to identify potential suspects, and a watchdog organization, the Government Accountability Office, claimed that the agency has access to 640 million photographs, which includes driver's licenses, passports, and mugshots. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
If you're one of the many frustrated singles who suffer from online dating fatigue, you might just be in luck. A new dating website launched this week that caters to fed-up men and women who simply want to meet eligible singles with unbroken skin or open sores similar to their own. It's called Last Shot.
If you're one of those people who is just ready to throw your hands up in the air and start a life with someone who has unbroken lesion-free skin, or on the other hand, if you're open to someone who has boils and abscesses similar to your own, Last Shot is perfectly calibrated to your needs.
Boasting a user-friendly interface and affordable dues of $4.99 a month, Last Shot simply asks users to log in, then click yes or no if they have open sores. Within moments, they're connected with hundreds of eligible singles who have comparable skin conditions. Reviews have been overwhelmingly positive. Arcuri hopes to one day introduce an upgraded membership experience, which would allow exasperated singles to filter for specific skin conditions.
This is the Onion News Network. And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix,
Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Yeah, defeared here on Declare Your Independence from me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the beautiful studios of FreedomsWithAnPhoenix.com. Ooh, that was a good one. Okay, what we got is you look at the top of FreedomsPhoenix.com and all the Vaccine Education Summit videos are there. We loaded it up on our own. We're going to be loading it onto some other platforms and so on. But first, we got to make sure it's there and always and never go away. So we got that up. They are awesome. So we are going to start doing some activism. Here we go. Now, in the third hour today, we have Rosa Corey. Now, Rosa, we've had her on before. She's a lesbian liberal from California, northern state of. And she was doing the man's work, going and condemning property for environmental of what, and then it became a mall. And she goes, wait. Thought we were saving the planet and stuff. We're taking people's property so the man can, take it. She goes, no. This one, not what I signed up for. What the heck is going on? She wrote the book Behind the Green Mask. Will be speaking at the Red Pill Expo coming up this weekend. So I'm going, okay, that she's, from the left, big time proud of it. But, man, she knows some injustice when she sees it, and she's being the tool for these big developers and so on, using environmental policy to just another sustainable we rule you. And once she realized the cog she was in the machine, she wrote a book about it. Spoke at the Freedom Summit, been going around the country, then building up, and now she's at Red Pill Expo. Okay. That's what we're going to get updated with her, see how she's doing. It's been years since we talked. Alex Newman in the second hour, another Red Pill Expo speaker behind the education mask. Oh, he's a writer for the New American and a reporter and so on. He's going to be explaining what's going on with the media and the education and what the heck is going on with California. Yeah, we have an article. Everybody's leaving